Jane Turner and Pat Simmons are going to be talking about the book they're working on right now that draws heavily on the diaries that Pat's father wrote and drew from the day he was diagnosed with dementia up until a few months before he died.
Dad's diaries were given to me about 3 years ago when Mum died. So Dad died in 2013 and the diaries came to me and I put them in a cupboard, didn't think too much about them. We always knew Dad was keeping diaries, but, just thought, oh, okay, he's just writing stuff down. And then one day I got them out and I thought, I really need to look at these. And there were some amazing drawings in them. They're just amazing drawings. So I just looked at the drawings and I thought, oh, this is actually really interesting. And then I started reading what was in there. And he was recording his lotto numbers every day. He was a dreamer, so he didn't want to forget those lotto numbers. He was writing down how much he had in the bank daily. So this was like his way of holding on to everything, I think. And he'd write, like if Mum was going out, Mum would say to him, because she knew he wasn't well, but she'd give him jobs to do. So she'd say, oh, Jack, can you flip a duster while I'm out? So all through the diaries, you've got little things like Jack flip a duster, Jack wash up. And yeah, just all those little things where he was feeling in control, I think, of what was happening to him. And just there's so much humour in it too. And I think it was really helpful for Mum because she would go out and say, as I said, she'd tell him what to do or where she was going and he'd write all that down. And so that combination of all these things that he was retaining, keeping a hold of, especially his lotto numbers, that was very important to him. He was a dreamer. He always dreamed of winning money. And the drawings were really quite amazing, some of them. Some of them are quite complex. He'd be writing something and then there would be bits blocked out and drawings around them. So it was fascinating to me and I thought, I'm not a non-fiction writer, I'm a children's writer, I write picture books, but this was a story. There was a story here, and this is going on for 7 years. He's keeping this. And one of the entries he had was he put an amount of money and it would have S/W next to it. And then there'd be another amount with L/W. I had no idea what this was, so I rang my sister when she knew I'd started working on them. And I said, what the heck's the S/W? And she said, I don't know. So anyway, I went through them and through them and through them, and it was small wallet and large wallet. So he was keeping a track of where his cash was, and in the wardrobe, there'd be an amount in the wardrobe. So he's trying to maintain control the whole time, but with humour. And this is a story, and I really should do something with the book, and that's when I found Jane, and she's been helping me ever since.
And that just brings me to the working title at the moment. And tell us a little bit about what Still a Bit Wonky means, Pat.
When we'd visit either my sister or I or any of the family members, say, oh, how are you, Dad? Oh, still a bit wonky. And he was tracking the days of his dementia, which, again, I didn't realise to start with. I think he got a bit lost along the way, but he was still tracking those days, which was, unbelievable to me. So that's why I thought I had to do something with it. And I suppose because I write for children and I love nonsense, and Alice in Wonderland is my absolute favourite book for adults and kids. And so I started using quotes from Alice for each chapter of the book for the 7 years. I did put them in my pocket just in case you didn't have them all. I knew I wouldn't remember them. So chapter 1, what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversation? And then chapter 2, oh dear, how puzzling it all is. I'll try if I knew all the things I used to. And this just seemed to really fit what was going on. And then chapter 3, curiouser and curiouser. Chapter 4, I can't explain myself, I'm afraid, sir, said Alice, because I'm not myself, you see. And then chapter 5, I'm sure those are not the right words, said poor Alice. And then we're getting towards the end of his journey. So chapter 6, so you think you changed, do you, said the caterpillar. I'm afraid I am, sir, said Alice. I can't remember things as I used to. And then the very last chapter, what a curious feeling, said Alice. I must be shutting up like a telescope. And that was the last year.
As people have already said, I think you're a bit of a wonderful person for honouring your dad's legacy, and your dad was an amazing man for doing this.
Hope it'll help.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay, thanks.